Did you guys watch Katt Williams' interview? If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend that you do because it was mesmerizing. Now, I say this because there were moments of brilliance, insanity, truths, and I think some lies that were all executed perfectly, though, by Katt Williams. But there is one concept he mentions towards the end of the interview that is brilliant, and I want to talk to you about it. I have been a fan of his and actually saw him live a few years ago, so I have paid attention to what has been reported about him in the news. I don't watch the news, but I do pay attention to celebrity stories, and Katt Williams is, he's an entertaining guy. So because I have followed those stories about Katt, I know something is definitely off kilter there. So much of the claims he made about other celebrities, I took with a grain of salt. He made some outlandish claims about people, and I would be actually very afraid if I were Katt Williams. He's going to suffer some backlash from that interview, and I'm still confused as to why he chose to say the things he did so publicly. So although I identified moments of absolute brilliance during that interview, I disagree with his approach. I also don't believe some of the things he said, such as reading 3,000 books per year and getting a college offer at the age of 7. I just don't believe those things. But what I believe really doesn't matter. But what does matter is this brilliant thing he said. He used the term trampoline skin to describe emotional and physical resilience. And when you have trampoline skin, you have the ability to bounce back no matter what. Now, I have never heard anyone refer to resilience using that term, and I Googled it, and the only person's name that's associated with that term is Katt Williams. Now, unless I totally overlooked something, and that's possible. So if this is like a sociological theory that was developed decades ago, please let me know, because I've never heard of it. But as far as I can tell, Katt Williams came up with that, and I love it. I love it because it describes perfectly how a person behaves when they have strong emotional and physical resilience. Someone with trampoline skin is going to go further in life than someone who offends easily, caves under pressure, has disempowering beliefs about themselves, and has low emotional intelligence. I know strong emotional intelligence is way more beneficial to the human being than a high IQ. If you don't have common sense and a good amount of control over how you feel, you're going to struggle in more ways than one, like in every aspect of your life. Now, he's a genius if he came up with trampoline skin, because think about how you feel when you're jumping on a trampoline. You effortlessly bounce up and down, and although you might get a little scared at times if you go too fast or too high, you keep going because you trust that trampoline to do its job. Because you trust that trampoline, you don't put too much thought into what you're doing. So when you're in a difficult situation, if you can approach it just as you would jumping on a trampoline, that difficult situation will likely take care of itself, like the trampoline takes care of the person who's jumping on it. I feel like the concept of trampoline skin is like one big metaphor for strength. If you've ever watched any of the Rocky movies with Sylvester Stallone, Rocky Balboa is a prime example of a man who has trampoline skin. Nothing could stop him, like, period. People who go through life from that unstoppable belief system usually go further and succeed in anything they take on. Now, what Katt Williams said really resonated with me, and my husband and I were watching the interview, and I had him rewind what Katt had said, because I was like, did he say trampoline skin? And sure enough, that's what he said. When we can approach life from a perspective of allowing troublesome people, places, and things to bounce off of us, we don't harbor any of the bad stuff. Harboring that bad stuff is what tears us down emotionally and physically. It really does. Now, going into Katt's interview, I anticipated shock value, entertainment and maybe some outlandish accusations about people, but I didn't expect to learn something that enhanced my personal and professional life. And I did. And I wanted to pass this information along to all of you, because I think if you can keep this concept in the forefront of your mind, it might help you avoid slipping back into old patterns, such as when someone, tries to knock you down. No one has control over your life except you. Not your boss, not the owner of the company that you work for, not your mama or your daddy or your friends. You are in control. And when you have trampoline skin, well, your chances of reaching the highest levels of success, self-actualization, self-confidence, wealth, health, and love are really good. So, a lot of people are on Katt's side, and a lot of people want to whip his ass. I'm not on either side. I just give credit where credit is due, and I had a true aha moment when I heard him describe emotional and physical resilience the way he did. Very clever, very insightful. Now, if you watch this interview, I want to know what you thought about it. Oh my God. Drop your comments below, please.